0.4 of a second. The time it takes a ball to travel the 60 feet, 6 inches from the pitcher's mound to home plate. 0.4 of a second. More than enough time for a career to end. Jacob Brewer's road to Division I baseball began in South Bend, Indiana, pitching at St. Joseph's High School. Brewer's flourishing career included many outstanding performances, but one will never vanish for his parents.
Whenever St. Joe played Marion in South Bend, they call it the Holy Wars, you know. So that was a big deal, you know.
As the article said, he quieted their bats. I mean, they couldn't get a hit against him, and I thought, yeah, he's got potential.
That potential ultimately led Brewer to Muncie, but the first 2 seasons in the Cardinal and White, Ball State was 29-71.
I think the tough part is that, you know, you've had so much success leading up to college, and then you come in as a young buck and you're thinking that's the same kind of stuff. You know, it's very few people that get to do that where they're so good right away.
Following his sophomore season, Brewer was having the summer of his life, pitching in the Great Lakes Summer League. But in 0.4 of a second, everything changed.
It was an all-star game. I threw 2 days prior to that, like 7 or 8 innings. I had like 120 pitches. And me, I'm a competitor, so I'm like, you know, I cannot not pitch in the all-star game, you know? It's the all-star game. I ended up throwing the hardest I've ever thrown on that game. Got off the mound, and I felt great, you know, because I topped off, and then all of a sudden I noticed that my arm was like real tight, and I was like, holy cow, I don't know if I can extend it all the way. I took the whole rest of the summer off because I knew the coaching staff was coming in. I actually talked to Coach Maloney, and he told me, you know, I don't want you throwing anymore. I want you to be ready to go for the fall.
The rest didn't help. His arm never recovered. After further evaluation, something more serious appeared. Tommy John surgery is synonymous with the game of baseball. It is a surgical operation named after a former Indiana native and Major League Baseball pitcher, Tommy John.
When Tommy John had the operation back then, they never dreamed that he could come back. Because the surgery is basically removing the tendon that controls your elbow and rewrapping it. They take this tendon out of your wrist area and get rid of the one that's destroyed, and they drill holes through your bones of your elbow, and they wrap it like as many times as they're capable of wrapping it, and then they kind of suture it, and hopefully it connects to your muscle properly to where you can actually come back.
I just kept looking up different websites, like what percentage of people come back, like what is it that helps people come back, you know, and like all this stuff. And I'll never forget, I saw a stat on it, 1/3 of big league pitchers have had Tommy John surgery. I was like, okay, well that makes me feel a little better. You know, if they can do it, I can do it.
The surgery was set October 30th, 2012. A date the Brewer family will never forget. With a blizzard hitting the Midwest, something happened at the hospital they never envisioned.
I got my gown, my little socks, I was laying in bed, and you know, I looked at my parents were on my right. I was just talking to them basically, you know, and the doctor comes in, scopes my arm out, getting ready to go, and I look at my left. All of a sudden I see this big smile on Coach Maloney's face as he's walking in, taps me on the shoulder, and you know, you ready to go? And it was a blizzard outside. And that 2.5-hour drive to Cincinnati, I don't know how you make that.
Whether he's a great coach or not, he's going to be a friend of this family, you know, from now on, because anybody that shows that kind of caring is a heck of a man.
I told Jake, you know, I'd like to come over when you have your surgery to see the tendon pulled out and to see Dr. Kremchuk with the tendon, and then to show it to me through the window before he's putting it back into Jake. He was all excited because he said, this one's going to be a good one.
Brewer had to sit out all of the 2013 season, pushing his way back into shape. But the worst part wasn't the agony of rehab. It was the heartache of sitting in the dugout.
You start out strong, and then you get to see all your buddies that are playing baseball and stuff like that, and you've been playing this game your whole life. You think it's just, it's always going to be there. You get injured and you can't play anymore. You don't realize how much the team means to you, how much it plays a part in your life until you literally don't have it, until it's stripped away from you.
What couldn't be stripped away was Brewer's passion to return to his pastime.
I started to get pretty decent with my left-handed throw for a while because I just wanted to throw a ball so bad.
He wants it tomorrow, and you like guys like that. He's a guy you have to tone down a little bit and understand reality, that it takes time.
.4 of a second. The amount of time it took for Jacob Brewer to realize who the man on the mound truly was.
Jake Brewer, when he first got to Muncie, was very immature, thought he had everything figured out, couldn't listen to anybody because he thought he had everything figured out, compared to the one now who, when he got kicked down, took a step back. I think the Jake Brewer now is a lot more grown up.
Coming out this year, looks like he's stronger than he's ever been, having a lot of success, and it's been really neat to see because I've been around him pretty much the whole process since he's been through his recovery and surgery and rehab and all that, and he's really handled it well.
I mean, I think the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit for him because of the electricity in that arm. He just got to learn to harness it and not take steps back. He's taken a lot of steps forward, but he'll end up taking steps back and kind of bouncing back and forth. And once he hits his stride, I think it's out there.
He's got to get out of thinking on the potential anymore, and he's just got to go out there and compete and be diligent and just be a warrior out on the mound.
When you're talking next level and all that, he has the physical tools. Now it's about repeating those physical tools every time he steps on that rubber.
Whether it's having the stats that I wanted to or not, just to get back out there and show that I can get my body back into the shape that it needed to be in. I feel like that not only meant a lot for me, but like the other people that had my back, Coach Maloney, Seth, Bautaw, and Sean, all these guys that told me that I could come back for it. I wanted to prove to them too that you're right, I will come back for it.
For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Luke Martin.